Horoscope for Libra in the year 2011. In the beginning of 2011, we find Saturn in Libra, just like in 2010. Saturn is one of the slow planets, and it is a very important planet for Libra because it is exalted in this sign. It always has to do with form and structure. It will be a year of struggle because Saturn forms a tension with the Sun and Mars, and it will be a bit difficult to achieve many goals. Anyway, the people of Libra will have the foresight and cunning to be able to continue developing. This is because Mercury is the planet of the mind, and it forms a sextile with Saturn. Then we find the planet Venus, which is the regent of Libra in Scorpio, and which will greatly increase the passions. Venus is actually blessed, because it has a good aspect with Jupiter, Uranus, and Mars. So all emotions and passion will often be somewhat exacerbated. They must be careful in terms of emotions that they do not overflowing. But of course, it will also increase the strong sexual energy, passion, and enthusiasm. Scorpio also has to do with the second house of Libra, which deals with generating money, and finds the benefic planet Venus. So we can expect economic benefits thanks to their persistent and dedicated work. The Moon and Mercury are in Sagittarius, so there will be a great communication with brothers and sisters, neighbors, and the surrounding environment. There will be many short trips, as the Moon and Mercury are two volatile planets, which are related to travel and communications. These are fast planets, so whenever the person finds these planets in the third house, they will give a lot of movement to Libra. As Mercury is in Sagittarius, it will naturally give a great capacity to study. The Moon, which is also in Sagittarius, gives the ability to absorb information by osmosis in a natural way. The presence of the Sun, Pluto, and Mars in Capricorn at the start of the year will give a strong importance to the family ties. There may be some ups and downs, certain disputes, or power struggles, as Mars receives a square from Saturn. Anyway, Mars also receives a sextile from Venus, and this will balance or compensate the energies. It will be a year of comings and goings. For those who live with their families, some moments of the year can be pleasant, and at other times there will be strong tensions. Anyway, let's not forget that Mars is exalted in Capricorn, and this will be most beneficial in its effects, so that the energy will be compensated. The fifth house appears in Aquarius and is related to love and relationships. And we see that the presence of Uranus is aspected by Jupiter. This will give many opportunities for love and relationships. Jupiter will also enhance these possibilities. As for those relationships which can be either virtual or are living abroad, and that might be defined by a journey, this is a good time to achieve them. Uranus also forms an aspect with Venus, that is the ruler of Libra. New stimuli will appear and results can be achieved. It will be a time to open up to enjoy the many opportunities which Uranus and Venus offer. Venus in Scorpio warns to be cautious with those loves that are jealous and absorbent. So in this sense, they must be careful of any person which limits their freedom, as freedom will be very important for this sign in particular, that because the aspect between Venus and Uranus. Regarding the sixth house, which appears in Pisces, we see Neptune in Aquarius and Jupiter aspected by Uranus. So the nervous system and the lymphatic system are the vulnerable areas during this period. This is a good year for non-conventional therapies and to find a cure or relief through different methodologies. Regarding work, for those people who are employed, Jupiter aspecting Uranus will give them opportunities to get better jobs And for those who are unemployed, there will be several opportunities to find a job. With regard to the 7th house for those who are married or living together, the presence of Mars in Capricorn, which is exalted, will greatly strengthen the relationship. Venus in Scorpio will also give a greater depth. They might have the need of a little freedom when Uranus is transiting the sign of Aries. It is a favorable time to make numerous trips or schedule changes, either at home or with friends. All those new incentives will strengthen the relationships. Regarding the 8th house, which has to do with sexuality, Venus in Scorpio empowers it to the maximum expression. It will also be very favorable in terms of fertility. Neptune also forms a tension with Venus. Inheritances which make and through third parties might have some dubious or confusing origins. Anyway, Venus receives mostly good aspects, and it is a good time for money, from legacies, inheritances, or even the ex-partner for those who are divorced. The 9th house that has to do with travel appears in Gemini, and Mercury appears in Sagittarius. This encourages overseas travel, and as Sagittarian energy is very stimulating, a lot of pleasure can be expected. Regarding the profession, Cancer is the midheaven of Libra, ruled by the Moon, and it appears in Sagittarius. This will result in a lot of drive and energy, initiative, decision, and courage. The 11th house, which has to do with friends, appears in Leo. The Sun is aspected by Mars and Pluto, which results in much concentrated energy put into social relations. Even though there will be some problems because of the tension between the Sun and Saturn, so some friends will probably stay in the past. It will be a year of revision and readjustment in this life area. Finally, the 12th house, which has to do with the unconscious, is ruled by Mercury, which is in Sagittarius. This will result in unceasing mental work. Mercury in Sagittarius is of restless nature, but it will be more projected to the future rather than remembering or regretting the past. Let us not forget that when 2011 begins, all the planets will be direct. Even when 2011 ends, they will be found in the same position, which is quite a rare thing. This results in all the energy flowing freely. So I hope that you can take advantage of all the positive things that lie for Libra during this period. And remember that you can always write to this channel if you need to ask any questions.